Hi guys, you are welcome. Welcome to today's tutorial. And in today's tutorial, I'll be showing you guys how to do micro, dodge, and burn. For some of you that don't know what dodge and burn means, dodge simply means lightning and burn means darken. So micro dodge and burn is another way in which you can retouch your image. It's different from frequency separation and any other method you might have been doing or you are familiar with. So micro dodge and burn, one, it takes time. It takes a lot of patience. And number three, it takes a lot of focus. You really need to focus on what you are doing. It takes your time, it takes patience, and it takes your attention or focus. So those are the very key important things about micro, dodge, and burn. So now the idea is, once you look at your image and you look at the way the light is falling on your image, if you look at this image properly, you discover that the forehead, the light is coming from the right hand side and it's falling so harsh on the forehead, but then it's focused on this forehead and not this part of the head. This upper part like this side is dark. So when we are doing our dodge and burn, we make sure those places that is dark, we make them brighter, and the place that are bright or that are bright are not and they are not supposed to be bright, we make them darker. Do you get it? Let me come again. Very simple. Places that are dark on the body that are not supposed to be dark, based on where the light is falling from, will make them brighter. And places that are bright that are not supposed to be bright, because of where our light is coming from, will make them darker. Do you get it? Very simple. So the first thing we want to do is you remove all your blemishes. On this image, I've done that already. I've removed all the blemishes. Please take your time to remove the blemishes perfectly. This is not frequency separation, so you need to remove the blemishes. You don't even have a choice, non-negotiable. So make sure you remove all the blemishes. After you might have removed all the blemishes, the next thing you want to do is you want to create two curves adjustment layer, one for dodge and one for burn. So you come to your curve adjustment layer just like this. From the middle, take it up a little bit like that, then press Ctrl I or Command I to invert it. Then you name it dodge to make our work easier to navigate around. Dodge. Then you create another one. This one now is for our burn. From the center, bring it down like that. It's okay. Invert it, please don't forget. Invert it, then name it burn. Just like that. Then we'll group this. Put them into the same group. You can just press Shift and press Ctrl G. Put them to you, and we can rename them. Rename the group dodge and burn. It's not compulsory you do all this. It's just to make the work a little bit more arranged, and that's all. It's not something serious. As far as you can understand what you created in the group, you are good to go. So now, after you might have done this, the next thing we want to do now is go to your brush. Please go to your brush. Make sure your brush is soft round brush. Your opacity set at 100, and your flow, my flow is always between 1 and 3. In fact, my favorite is 1. I love 1, so it's 1 that I use. So you can decide to use 1 or 2. So for this video, I'll just use 1 that I'm used to. Then your smoothing, you use 10. So like I said earlier, what we want to do now is we want to, but now if you look at the image, if you are not very careful, we are not too sure of where to dodge and where to burn. And that is where invert check layer comes to play. It helps us to determine where to burn and where to dodge on our image. I will explain that more later. So now, if you look at the image now, what do we want to do? We want to make sure that we brighten. Okay, let me use this nose part as example. If you look at this part like this, here like this is dark, so we'll brighten it up. Click on your dodge. Make sure your foreground color is white, because white reveals, black hides. So since we've inverted, this black has hidden the light that we created on the curves adjustment layer. So make sure your foreground is set to white so that we'll reveal the light back on where we want. So if you just click on, then just paint on this part like this. Like this. Let me show you before and after. Do you see the difference? Before and after. Wow, this is fantastic. Before and after. If you see this part of under the eye here like this, please make sure your brush is always very small based on where you are painting on. That is why it's called micro, small. Paint on them like that. Micro dodge and burn takes time and patience. At a point in time in this video, I will need to pause the video, or I will just make the video very fast, because you can't just keep watching me painting little by this. You get tired and it becomes boring. But let me show you what I've just done now, before and after. Can you see it? Before and after. I only zoom the image like this because I want to see it. If I'm doing my work, I won't zoom it like this. It's just too much. Before and after. But then to even look at the image and get where to work on even better, that's where our invert check layer comes in. And how do you create your invert check layer? Make sure you close your group like this first. Come to level, just click on your levels, leave it like that, close the levels. Then in between your levels and your dodge and burn group, click on your dodge and burn group, because we want to create another adjustment layer in between the levels and the dodge and burn group. So you come to your gradient map. If your gradient map is like this, come to black and white, click on black and white, then come back to properties and click on reverse. Boom, just like that. Now, what normally gets confuse people when it comes to micro dodge and burn is this particular part, this invert check layer. I will show you a very fantastic example. Look at the teeth. It looks very black, I mean horrible. But now we know that in the normal portrait, the teeth is white. Let me show you. You see, the teeth is white. In fact, let's group this first so that we will not confuse ourselves. Let's group this. Let's put it into a group. Yes. Now, let's check it off. You see, the teeth is white, but now in this invert check layer is black. Now, the idea is we do the opposite of what we are supposed to do initially. How? Those parts of the body that are dark, will make them even more darker, but it will become bright on the image. Why are we making it darker here on the invert? Because we've inverted the image already. So once we are done with our dodge and burn, we can always delete the inverted layer that we created. But for the sake of this inverted layer that has been created on this dodge and burn group, this part of the forehead from the image is very bright, but since we create inverted check layer, it becomes very dark, and that's where it becomes tricky, because now we are not going to make this dark part bright. If it's your normal dodge and burn, we'll make it bright, but now we are even going to make it more darker, because why? We've inverted this check layer, and it makes us to even see better where to make brighter and where to make darker. You get my example? Now, from these parts already, those parts that look dark, these parts like this will make them darker, and these parts that look very bright will make them brighter. Why? Because when we are doing it, it becomes brighter and it becomes darker, just like that. But on our image, it's inverted on our image. Do you understand? Now, to even make it look more obvious and for us to see better where to dodge and where to burn, open your levels, click on the properties, and let's just reduce the light a little bit like this and like this. Can you see it? Let me show you. Just like this. I think it's too much that way. Yeah, fantastic, like this. I love it this way. So now, from here now, we know where to make brighter and where to make even darker. Let me start let me start from this left eye here. So now open your dodge and burn group, click on the dodge, don't forget the settings of the brush. Now we can see from here like this, all this dark area like this, we don't need to make them bright. In fact, one way that you know that you are doing the right thing is, any place when you are working on your dodge, this part, this your light area, when you are working on them, anything I'm doing here, it should become darker. If it's not darker, that means you are doing the wrong thing. Do you get it? It should be dark. If it's not dark, then that means I am doing the wrong thing. So you zoom, that is very important. Then we start painting on those places that looks white or that looks bright. We make them darker, because on the image they are actually dark. Look at it. You see, will make them even darker. So click on your dodge and then you just paint just like that. Let me show you before, after. You see it before, after, before, after. See this part of the nose here that looks, see this part like this, it looks like it's dark. We want to make it, come to your bone, make it brighter. Do you get it? It's dark, but we want to make it brighter. But we know that it will even be dark when we remove the check layer. But for now, it looks as if it's bright. Do you even understand? I hope I'm not getting you confused. I seriously hope I'm not doing that to you right now, because that is not why I made this video. I want you to understand that's why I made this video. Let me show you before and after. Okay, let's check this off. Now look at it. Before, after. If you look at this part, before it was looking dark. It was looking dark, but now it's looking bright. Can you see it? Before, after, before, after. Is that not fantastic? That's just fantastic. You see, before and after, before, after. Look at this part of the nose. Let's just focus on our dodge for now. Look at this part of the nose. Make it darker. Look at what I'm doing. You see, before, after, it's becoming more darker. But even as it's looking darker, because it's looking dark because we are working on an inverted check layer. This place that is looking dark now, if I click off or check off the eye distance of the inverted check layer, it becomes brighter. I don't know if you understand. See, let me check this off. Look at it. Before and after. You see that this part of the nose is looking dark before, but it's looking brighter now. But when I was working on it through inverted check layer, it's like I'm making it darker. So it's just opposite. Anything that looks dark here on the inverted layer, anything that looks dark here on the image, it becomes bright. And anything that looks bright, that I make bright here, it becomes dark on the image. Do you get it? So it's as simple as that. So now I'm going to fast forward the video so that I don't waste your time. Then I will just come back and show you what I've done. So guys, let me briefly show to you what I've done so far. Let's say before and after. Look at it, before and after. Let me just check this layer off. Just look at it from distance. Before, after. Is that not wonderful? Just look at I focus more on this left eye, this right cheek pass. Sorry, I think this is right? Yeah, this is right cheek. Just look at before and after. Before and after. Do you see? It's so amazing. So amazing. Like I said earlier, it takes time, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Oh, it's worth it. So let me just go back to what I've been doing. Let me come to the left cheek here like this. Let me work on my dodge. See all this part like this, but you see here is looking kind of dark, and I want it to look bright. You know what to do now, since we are working on inverted part, so you know exactly what to do. You just make it more darker, but since here is dark already, we'll make it brighter, and that is why we'll go to our bone, just paint on that side. Mind you, it's not compulsory that you use because a particular place is supposed to be bright, then you just assume that all you need to do is just your dodge there alone. No, you mix it up, and that's the beauty of it, because it's correction that we are doing, and it's not that general dodge and burn. This is micro, and that's why your brush is always small, so it gives you an advantage to navigate between the two worlds of brightness and I won't call the second one, of dodge and burn. So here like this, we want to make it as well. We'll burn it, sides looking dark. We'll make it brighter, since we know that burn makes things brighter on the inverted word. So we'll make it brighter. Let me just show you before and after. Before and after, you see, we're doing an amazing work already, an amazing work. So it takes a lot of time and effort. Please take your time. Take your time. I'll just fast forward the video once again. So guys, this is what you should have. I mean, just look at it before and after. If I keep on doing it, I'll get even a more better result, but probably that will take me another 30 minutes or 1 hour. And let me tell you something, on your first attempt you might be using 1 hour 30 minutes. That's about 90 minutes or 2 hours on it. Don't get tired, don't be discouraged. That's your first attempt. The more you do it, the more you get better at it, and the more faster it becomes for you. This is not a perfect job, to be honest with you. If I'm to do this, it will take me some extra minutes and I will still get even a more better result. But I don't want the video too long, too lengthy, so just look at it before and after. And a quick recap on what we've done so far. The first thing you want to do in your image, you remove your blemishes. Make sure you do that part very well. Create your adjustment, curve adjustment layer. Create one for dodge, the other one for burn. Then you create your invert check layer. You pick up your brush. Make sure your brush is set on opacity 100 and flow of 1 or 2. Make sure it's a soft round brush, no hardness at all, and you keep on painting just like that on your inverted max layer on your curves, both for dodge and for burn. So that is it. Quick recap on that, and look at where we are before and after. The more you do it, the more time it takes you, the better your work becomes. Just look at it before and after. So clean, natural, and just realistic. And that brings us to the end of the tutorial. I'll see you in my next class. Don't forget, Photoshop is fun. Keep having fun. Please subscribe if you know you've learned something. Like, make comments, ask questions, and share as well. Thank you so much. See you in my next tutorial.